right, this is the 16-foot enclosed V-nose trailer that I'm going to be installing the OutEquip Pro 12-volt AC system. And I'll show you on the top of the roof. I have nothing, so I have a pretty open canvas. But this is my roof. Hopefully this isn't the last time. It's leak proof. But this is where I plan on putting the AC unit. All right, this is the inside of the trailer. As you can tell, I've got the ceiling insulated and covered in plywood as well, but I plan on putting it exactly right here after I get the hole cut out. All right, and then as you can tell, it's pretty hot out here in the Texas summer, and this is why we need this AC unit in here. All right, so what I want to do is make a template so I cut once after I've measured a few times and double check. So what I'm going to do, since I don't have a hole, I don't have a 14 by 14 or 14 by 9, I'm going to go with the recommended 14 by 9. And that's what I did right here. Just took a piece of cardboard, cut out my 14 by 9. Let's make sure it fits right. All right, so that's what the cutout looks like for a 14 by 9. So I'm going to take this cardboard template onto the top of the roof, draw out the 14 by 9 before I cut to make sure we're good to go. All right, here's the cut. Let's see what we did. All right, here's the hole from the inside. Get it cleaned up, put the alcohol to clean it up, put the gasket on the outside, and we'll keep going. All right, now from the inside, we've got it, the cut, the AC, the gasket put in, everything. We installed these 4 mounting screws right here. Now what we're gonna do is put the brackets, the washers to the brackets and everything so that we can put the face plate on and then suck this piece down, hopefully. All right, we connected the electrical face to it. Looks pretty even and level. Next is the base faceplate. All right, just finished putting the faceplate on. Last thing I need to do is cut a hole in the roof for the 12-volt power cord. I'm gonna run it down the roof, down the front of the V-nose, and I'll end up plugging it into this 3,000 watt jackery that I'll set up back there once I move that other stuff out the way. All right, as you can tell by my thermometer here, it's 103 degrees inside my trailer right now. Currently the hottest part of the day here in Texas. Finished the install for the OutEquip Pro AC, and so here we go. Let's turn it on. Let's see what happens. All right, we got power. You see. All right, as you can tell on the remote, it shows 20 degrees Celsius, but on the actual face, it shows that we're 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The remote actually has a light power as well. And so you see that the fan is full blast. I've got good battery and we're still at 68 degrees. So I'm gonna let it run for a little bit and see what happens, see how fast it takes to cool off. All right, here's the outside of it. As you can hear, the OutEquip AC is running right now. You can see the condensation coming out, leaking down the side of the trailer. So do pay attention to that yellow tag there and make sure that you are not blocking that drainage with your gasket, or it's inside of your gasket, or else all the condensation drainage will go inside. All right, I got everything installed. That's the AC there on top of the roof. Coming along here is where I came in with the 12-volt wires straight from the roof. Plumbed it up, tightened it down, have it here, and I actually have it running into my 12 volts power supply. So that's how I'm converting the 120 into the 12 volts to use it. All right, the AC's been running for about 3 hours. As you can see, the max temperature inside the trailer was at 104 degrees, and right now it's at 82, and it's slowly continuing to drop. So that's great, because that is 22-degree difference already. And like I said, we're in the hottest part of the day in Texas summer, inside of a metal trailer that's been getting blasted with the sun all day. All right, here's another check with the thermometer gun. Let's see. It's showing it right at 61.3, and actually AC is saying 62 degrees is what it's pushing out, what it's set to. So really happy with that. All right, as you can tell, I got the AC running full blast right now. It's not very loud. I would say it's definitely doable. It's not gonna hurt your ears or anything like that. I think you can still have an easy conversation and be heard. Actually, really happy with this piece of equipment. The install wasn't too bad. I think if you're a little mechanically inclined, that you should have no issue putting in your own AC unit. I think the biggest thing, or the scariest thing for me, was putting a 14 by 9 inch hole in my perfectly good roof. So measure twice, cut once. That was, I think, the hardest part. One of the other things that I would say to be mindful of are the 4 bolts that go in, not these screws, but the 4 bolts that put the whole face, that pull the whole plate up. You are going to have to trim those depending on how thick it is between your roof and the bottom piece of the plate. I had to cut mine a little bit for the plate to fit. No big deal, just got a cut wheel and cut those off. Do pay attention. I did mess up once when I was wiring and putting the 4 wires on. I didn't do one correct, and as soon as I had turned it on, it showed a 3C error, which meant the sensor couldn't read. I pulled these 4 screws back out, pulled it down, saw that I was off on the sensor, not plugged in correctly, plugged that clip back in, put everything back together, and she fired right up. So just pay attention. I don't know how I messed that up, but somehow I did. And as you can tell, definitely not sweating anymore, not drenched. It's definitely cooling off here compared to when I first started the video and the install. So like I said, really happy with this so far. I can't wait to take it off grid and go hunting or just camping somewhere where you don't have shore power and all you can do is run solar and get to test this thing out even more. So if you're looking for something that's quiet, not too expensive, and easy to install, I would say check out your OutEquip Pro 12 volt AC system. Thanks.